In this episode, I fit my 3-inch Y piece, have a hissy fit over a pair of nuts, and learn to handle something big and round. But right now I think it's about time we rolled those buttery shots. Welcome, I'm on top of a hill, as you can probably see. It's a new episode of Total Car Review, so I'm glad that you've joined us and I'm glad that you're here. But I've got a few nice buttery shots just while we make our way back to the garage, which is an hour and a half away. So I'll show you these shots, and then by the time you've watched them, I'll be all set up with the Red Mini, and I'll see you shortly. Guys, welcome back. So we're going to fit the Y piece. It's very shiny, very chromy. It's 3-inch in diameter and very nice and long. That's going on today. But before we do that, we have one more job. We have to swap the engine mount, because if you remember last time, the captive nuts on one side didn't work on the car. We had to grind them off and fit the mount, which made this hole bigger, and they don't. It's people have said I need to swap it, so we're going to swap that. And then to summarise in today's episode, we're going to connect the fuel tank up and connect the pipes in, and we'll be one step closer to getting this engine running. So yeah, let's crack on. First of all, to replace the engine mount, we need to undo this bolt here from the underneath to release the engine mount from the subframe. I'm going to jack the engine up a little bit and try to swap it in this tight and confined space. So what you need is a 13mm spanner and a bit of oomph. So the mount is now separated. This is the old one, and the whole reason for this is someone kindly pointed out, if you look at this hole here and you look at the hole next to the other one, the one that had the captive nuts is bigger. Now obviously when you slide this bolt through, it has a lot of movement in it, and what's actually happened to some people is that movement with the vibration of the engine has caused this to snap and the engine to come off the mount, and it's caused a whole lot of problems. So thanks for pointing this out. So the new one, obviously the bolt will go through and there's no movement in it. But what I will say is, get this right the first time. You don't want to be doing what I'm doing, because you'll end up swearing just a little bit like this. So now we're going to apply the mount to this, and we're going to do it all in reverse and get it back in the car without swearing.
sake. 2 hours later. 3 hours later. 5 hours later.
Yeah! So we've got the captive nuts in. They're an absolute ball ache to get in, and I suggest that if anyone's going to try and put them in, just do it before you put the engine in like I did. Make sure the mounts are right. I've struggled for ages trying to sort that out. It's a shame I didn't video the swearing because it would have been quite humorous. Hang on. What's this? Guys, what has happened? We've got a hole in the makeshift garage. There's only one thing we can do about this, and it is time for a bodge repair. So what we've had to do is to stop this flapping about Beast of the East, we've had to cut a load of these, drop them in, then I'm going to drill some holes, fix it in, and then fix it down from the top. Hashtag call me a joiner. Problem flappo solved. Now it's time to move on to stroking my Y piece. Underneath the car, let's get it in. Right guys, just before we fit this Y piece, I think it was Dave Jaguar 66, he had an awesome idea of welding like a metal stub on the end here, so that way, because they're a bit awkward to get on, you could hit it with a hammer and it'd slide on so you don't mushroom all the end like this. But fortunately with the manifold that I've bought, it's got a sensor in here that I'm not going to use, so I can hit against that to get it on. If you've not seen any videos to do with E-types or minis or other minis, go and check out Dave Jag's channel, there'll be a link in the description. Right, let's get this on. I'm just joking, it's not that heavy. Now it's time to fit the fuel tank. So let's get this big boy in. First of all, just before we slip into mini of the week, I would just like to say the petrol tank did go in that video. However, I'm aware I need to connect the wiring loom up, which we'll be doing in the next video, because we've had some fitment issues with the petrol tank. The bottom bracket was catching, so after the battery died on the camera, I ground it out with a grinder, and it sort of fit in a way, but we need to connect the lights up first. Mum! Brew! Brew!
Please?
Please, come on. Ding in the bell here, you know how it works. Hello? Pussy slippers! Pussy! Come on. What have you made me? A juicy latte?
Juicy latte.
Thank you. So, moving into mini of the week, this is a guy that also does YouTube. It's a guy called Paul P, who I've met at Bingley Hall. Really nice guy. And this car that he's doing, which I'm going to do an overlay for now, is he's doing something called a juiced mini. There's all sorts of generic words like this, is like bagged, slammed, dropped, all that sort of stuff. But he's basically putting a mini on air suspension, which I think is very, very ambitious, but the way his welding work's coming together, it's looking great. He did send this video in a few months back. Now, it's just been a backlog because I've had other people that have sent it in and it's just been hard to mix it up. Presuming he's done a bit more on it, Paul, let me know in the comments. If you haven't, I will be very ashamed of you, sir. It's gonna look great. So there's this little quick video of what's going on. As you can see, the clearance for the wheel to come up into the arch it's a lot of chopping out and changing, but it is going to look good. He's had to narrow the rear track down by 4 inches, so the wheels took up into the car. Could probably say that's a lot of ingenuity to work that out and make sure one's not longer than the other. There's going to be 4 pumps and 4 batteries, and they're all going to be located in the boot. It's beyond me, and it's something that I hope that I can gain the skills over time to tackle. It's on stock 12-inch wheels, which will be painted bright orange, which also looks great. So the ultimate goal for this build for Paul is to make it to IMM 2019, and it is another year away, and I've got every faith in you, mate, that you can do it. I know it's hard with the weather we've had recently, the snow, and just trying to get back out there. It is very cold.
And here is the custom switch box I'm making for it. So this is going to be all the switches for the hydraulics.
The aim is to keep it looking like a stock Mini when being driven, and then when you can park up, you can just go and lower it down. So that wraps up this week's Mini of the Week. This is about the time where I normally say back to the garage. That's not going to happen this week. Because of me getting out the weather. It is actually snowing again today. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button and then you'll be notified every time I upload. Also, while we're here, I've had an order for the Team Slaphead tops. Not as many as I'd like, so I'm just going to order a bit more, and then eventually we can start rolling these out. And yeah, guys, I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye, pussy!